On a numbers game, the right data changes everything, and the data behind Shopify is hard to argue with. Millions of businesses worldwide run on it, including our own VSiN store. When we launched, Shopify's templates and AI tools got us live fast. Professional looking from day one. No tech background needed. Shopify checkout converts more customers and makes it easy for returning fans to come back and buy again in a single click. Shopify's built-in AI assistant Sidekick is there whenever you need help, building, troubleshooting, or just figuring out your next move. Check out what we built at vsin.com/store. Then go build something of your own. All you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. Start your free trial at shopify.com/vsin. That's shopify.com/vsin. Shopify.com/vsin.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gill Alexander on VSiN.
Hour number 2 of a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, Sirius XM channel 158. Gill Alexander in San Francisco this week. Kelley Bydlon back at the mothership, the VSiN studios at Circa Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. Aaron Schatz standing by to join us, the author of Aaron Schatz's FTN Football Almanac 2026. First, we get tweet speeding the book. Brian M., you've been in San Francisco so long, you'll come back, and Kelley will be in a new spot at the Golden Gate to ease you back into Vegas. Yeah, another from the D to Circa back to the Golden Gate. Todd Hoyer, some since you've been gone clarification. 3 great songs, all different, same title by Rainbow, The Outfield, and Kelly Clarkson. Thank you. My old band used to do a medley of all 3. We were not good, but it was clever at least. Okay, so 3 different songs. 3 different songs, but all with the same title. Gotcha. Gordon died. Love to stop in and say hi to you, Gill, in San Francisco, but my layover is only an hour on my way to Manila. Instead, we'll stop by Circa after your show in late August. Looking forward to that, Gordon. Just call me Skip about Bill 80 not putting in the tennis plays. He says, apparently Bill didn't stay up late last night. A little tribute to the long-running commercial. Kev, can I go to the Texas Roadhouse outing with you guys too? That's a dry aged Kev. Well, Kev, see if we have room. A lot of people want in now. Terry Elkins, absolutely glad the World Cup is over, so I don't have to listen to the announcer say that was absolutely a foul. I want to shout out Stevie Fezzik, because Steve Fezzik, when the final first got set, he texted the group chat. He goes, Spain will win in dominating fashion 1-0. And that's exactly what happened. Soccered yesterday. He doesn't talk about the global football in his football almanac. He talks about our American football. Right. It's the 2026 almanac, Aaron Schatz's FTN Football Almanac 2026. The creator of DVOA joins us now, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. It's Aaron Schatz, everybody, on this Monday morning. You can follow him on Twitter at @ASchatz. That's SCHATZ NFL. Aaron, good morning. Great seeing you, man. How you doing?
Good morning. It's been a good off season, man. I'm doing well. Life is good. Book is done. Ready for the season. I'm good.
Does a guy who is immersed in American football minutia get his head up at any point and look at the World Cup? Watch the World Cup at all? Where do you stand on that?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. Mostly if it was on the weekend, I watched it. And I watched the last couple, I watched the final yesterday. So I enjoyed it. It was a good time. You know, it's very different sport, but I had a good time. It's about 80% football and about 20% acting.
There you go. There is, see, even Aaron Schatz says it as well. Okay, let's get to the almanac, and so now everybody, like, now that the World Cup is behind us, our thirst for our football, whether college or pro, is right in front of us. By the way, let me just say to everybody, the football almanac, most accurate team projections, cutting edge DVOA metrics, again, which Aaron is the founder of, or the creator of, I should say, industry leading fantasy projections from Jeff Radcliffe of FTN Fantasy is in there, detailed commentary, incisive wit. By the way, I was reading some of Mike Tannier's calls on the Cowboys yesterday. I was dying laughing. Tons of advanced stats in there. Where can people, let's start here. Where can people get the almanac most easily, Aaron?
You can get it in a PDF form at ftnfantasy.com/almanac, and you can get the physical copy with Jackson Smith and Jigba on the cover at Amazon. Just search for FTN Football Almanac 2026.
I've never asked you this. Do you guys debate who you want to put on the cover?
Oh, I just decided. For a long time, we couldn't use actual photos, so it was just the colors of the Super Bowl champion with some sort of generic football picture. Now we can use actually photos, so I can use a photo of the best player from the Super Bowl champion.
Got it. Okay, that's cool. I guess I always wondered that. Never asked. All right, let's go back to last year for a second, because last year Seattle and the Rams, the best two teams historically. So when you put them in historical DVOA context. But you said really early in the almanac, I thought it was a great sort of contextual statement, which was last year was both, it was in some ways the most predictable season ever, and in other ways the most unpredictable. What did you mean by that?
It was predictable in that Seattle and the Rams were the top two teams for most of the season, and then they were the top two teams by the time you got to the playoffs, and Seattle was number one, and they won the whole thing, which, believe it or not, doesn't happen that often. Normally, some team that's between like 3 and 6 in DVOA wins the Super Bowl. We don't actually have a lot recently of teams that were number one, but Seattle was number one pretty much the whole way. But it was unpredictable because the teams that ended up really high, especially in wins and losses more than DVOA, were not the teams people expected. Nobody expected Seattle to be the best team in the league last year. People didn't expect the Colts to play as well as they did. They didn't expect the Lions to finish last in their division. They didn't expect the Chiefs to fall apart. Like, there was a lot of unpredictableness about last year's season at the same time as the playoffs were very predictable.
Yeah, and in betting parlance, the Seahawks were 60-1 to win the Super Bowl pre-flop, I believe, and the Patriots, who got to the Super Bowl, were 80-1. So
yes, it is the most unlikely Super Bowl ever by preseason Super Bowl odds. Yes.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And when we're in the moment, we tend to forget that sort of big piece of all of this. If we step back, we're like, wow, that really did happen. It's sort of akin to the Twins and the Braves in the early 90s in Major League Baseball. So I guess we should start there with this year. Do the Seahawks and Rams rank as your two best teams heading into the next season?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they were so far ahead of the rest of the league last year, it would have really taken a lot of just departing talent for them to not be the top two. And instead of departing talent, the Rams ended up with Myles Garrett. So The surprise is, I think, that we still have the Seahawks slightly ahead of the Rams. It's very slight. If Aaron Donald comes back, that will change. The Rams will be the new number one team. But for now, we're projecting the Seahawks at number one and the Rams at number two.
Yeah, by the way, I keep using DVOA for those who are just being introduced to you for the first time, Aaron. DVOA, Defense Adjusted Value Over Average, advanced NFL metric created by you, Mr. Aaron Schatz, that measures team efficiency, evaluating every single play by comparing a team's performance to a league average baseline adjusted for the specific down, distance, field location, and opponent strength. And we should probably say the brainchild of this for you, or the seed, was you were a big fan of Bill James baseball metrics as a kid, and you just sort of decided, is anybody doing this for football? I think I can do this.
Basically, yeah, that's the sort of my origin story. But figuring out why the 2002 Patriots didn't go back to the playoffs, that was my origin story. But the projections are a little different because they work based on the last couple years of numbers combined with looking at coaching changes, personnel changes, certain things that tend to stay consistent or not consistent from year to year. And that's how we project the numbers for the upcoming season.
It's such a great almanac. I mentioned I was laughing. I'll find a Mike Tanier quote to just sort of give an example of it. But it's not just Mike, obviously, who's been with you forever. It's you. It's many authors doing team breakdowns. There's the fantasy section. There's always the year in quotes, which is always hilarious. I didn't know that Matt LaFleur gave DVOA a shout out at some point after one of the ball games.
We love it when the coaches shout us out, man.
Instant year in quotes inclusion when they do that. I thought the Greg Olson comment because this is the first time that he's got, or the first or second time that he's gotten to go around the league. Well, maybe it's been more than a couple times now for Greg, but he's getting to go around the league and talk to coaches. And it is so apparent to him, an actual player, as to why certain teams are successful and why others aren't. Let me just stop on that for a second. Does that surprise you, or do you find yourself nodding that a player who has been a great player in the league, who now gets a different perspective from the broadcast booth and gets to talk to different coaching staffs, it's so apparent to him, like any profession, whether you're a plumber, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a lawyer, whatever it is, that some people are good at their profession and others are bad, and the NFL is no different.
Yeah, it doesn't shock me. And Greg is one of the most open-minded. Certainly, he has been very open to learning analytics and is a great combination of understanding the perspective of people like me, combined with the knowledge and experience that comes from having actually played the game on the field. So for Greg Olson to be the one who says this is not a surprise to me.
Okay, there is a team in your almanac that you guys say has the top offense and the worst defense. That team is
the Chicago Bears, number 2 in our projections in offense and number 32 on defense. Yeah.
Whew. Wow. Number 2 on offense, number 32 on defense. So that indicates that the Caleb Williams magic carpet ride from last year was no fluke.
Yeah, the system looks at a quarterback who's good, not great, but good in the second year as a number 1 overall pick, and says likely to be even better in year 3, and coach in the second year with the system. And it doesn't think they lost much when they lost DJ Moore. The problem is their defense sets off all the red flags, hugely dependent on turnovers, hugely dependent on third downs, lost a bunch of talent, lost an all-pro safety, added some talent too. But yeah, the Bears set up all the red flags on defense.
Was there a team, Aaron, either to the good or to the bad, that shocked you when you dove into it based on what you had a preconceived notion of, but afterwards you're like, oh my God, this team is way better or way worse than I thought?
You forget how good the Colts were last year in the first half of the year. Like, we have them projected 14th and it feels like it's too high. And then you look back at our numbers from last year and they were 5th. Like, we don't know what Daniel Jones, we don't know the condition of his ankle, but if he comes back and plays anywhere near what he did last year, that's a good team.
All right, I want to dive into more with Aaron. Aaron's kind enough to join us for a second, including an AFC Super Bowl favorite that you might not be expecting, and a couple teams in the AFC that will ride their schedules back into the playoffs, that and more. It's a numbers game with Aaron Schatz right here at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. You're here because you want an edge. That's what separates listeners from winners. But let's be real, mindset alone doesn't get bets home. Pros win because they've got the tools, the data, and the discipline. And now so can you. VSiN Pro gives you access to the same real-time insights the sharps use. No secrets, no fluff, just actionable info that moves markets. Tap the link and see why serious bettors are turning knowledge into profit with VSiN Pro.
A numbers game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back on a numbers game, live from San Francisco, Gill Alexander, Kelley Bydlon, back in Las Vegas at the VSiN studios at Circa Resort Casino, and Aaron Schatz, the creator of DVOA and the author of Aaron Schatz's 2026 FTN Football Almanac, joins us. And, we'll get to more of Aaron's picks here in a second, but I just wanted to, because I went back, I was reading the Cowboys blurb, not blurb, it's a few pages. I shouldn't call it a blurb, but it really, reading an almanac like yours, Aaron, it's so great from different perspectives because one, I find myself laughing at some of the things and it's so entertaining that way. In addition to just, making me actually, I don't even remember if I had teams in the proper context, but it reminds you if you did know, and it helps you if you didn't know, putting teams in actual context with actual facts. Let me just give the Cowboys example on both ends. One, Mike Tanier wrote the Cowboys summary, and he said their defense not only ranked last in the NFL, but was the third worst since 1977 by DVOA, trailing only the 86 Bucks and the 81 Colts. I don't think I remember it that way. I'm like, wow, I did not remember that. Over-reliant on Brandon Aubrey, who kicked 10 field goals of 20 to 29 yards. So it speaks to the conservatism of Brian Schottenheimer. It also reminded us that Aubrey missed 6 50-plus yarders last year. And then he had sentences like this, and I'll let you comment, but sentences like this, which I just love. He goes, Schottenheimer is famous for establishing the run to set up the run so his teams can run when opponents know they are running. I love stuff like that. This is why I love your almanac. It's great. Stuff like that.
Yeah. Later in the chapter, there's a joke about Aubrey trying a 60-yard field goal at the center's wedding.
That's right. Anyway, it just gives, for Cowboys fans, you're not going to like reading this, but it just gives great contextualization again. And really it does a lot about, hey, was the Micah Parsons trade a good one or a bad one? And on the one hand, talks about all the great pieces that the Cowboys have gotten. And in the end, it's like screech to a halt and be like, yeah, but wait a minute. Like none of this, they could have done this without trading Micah Parsons to some degree. So, and the proof is in the actual results. Back one question back to the Rams and the Seahawks. I know they were 1-2 Seahawks Rams last year, but where were they historically in DVOA? Do you remember?
Including the playoffs, Seattle was the number 4 team in history, and the Rams were something like 20th.
Wow. Oh, the Rams dropped to 20th. Okay, 4th. So we're talking 91 Skins, 2007 Patriots, 85 Bears, 2025 Seahawks. Is that correct?
If you include the playoffs, yeah. They're a little lower if you only look at the regular season, but they were really dominant in the playoffs.
Okay. Let's talk about some of the stuff I teased here before the break. One, AFC Super Bowl favorite. You have who?
Houston Texans, baby. Houston was the number 1 AFC team in DVOA last year. We know they have a fantastic defense, but this will shock you. Last year, C.J. Stroud, in the regular season, ranked 11th in passing DVOA. I know he had 2 horrible games in the playoffs, but in the regular season, he was an above-average quarterback. If you give him an actual running game and a slightly better offensive line, and he should have that this year, they should put an above-average offense on the field to go with one of the top 2 or 3 defenses in the league.
Wow. Okay. That'll definitely rattle some people's brains on how they have the AFC South stacked up, let alone the AFC. What about a couple AFC teams that you feel are going to go back to the playoffs largely based on schedule improvement?
Yeah, it's surprising that we don't have the Ravens and Bengals higher in DVOA projections, especially the Ravens, but they do have 2 of the 5 easiest schedules. That whole AFC North division has easy schedules, especially the teams that get to also play the Browns twice. And so we like the Bengals and Ravens to both return to the playoffs, thanks in large part to easy schedules.
Okay. Commanders, I read that one too. I wasn't too thrilled, and I hate to say it, but I agree with so much of it. What about here's from a betting standpoint. Your favorite season win total over is?
The Arizona Cardinals.
Oh. Okay,
I
explain.
believe that at some books, Arizona is all the way down at 3.5. And they were something like 23rd in DVOA last year. Not 32nd, like 23rd. And they have the hardest schedule in the league. But all they have to do is win 4 of 11 non-division games to go over 3.5, or 5 if you have them at 4.5. That's not that hard to win 5 non-division games, even assuming they lose all 6 of their division games because their division is so good. That team is not the worst team in the league. It's really not.
Yeah, 3.5 at DraftKings, and it's not juiced. It's -110 over 3.5. If we do that thing where we do this, and this is with peril, right? Where we go through the schedule, they're like, I don't know where I can find 4 wins, but you're saying, that obviously is a exercise that worked better in the 80s and 90s than it does today. I will acknowledge. But you think that is the best over of all. You have the biggest gap between that and its actual number.
Yeah, absolutely. The best overall. And I understand the vibes in Arizona are not good. Like, we have them projected as something like 7 wins. I don't think they're going to hit that because the vibes are bad, but they can hit 5. They can hit 5, and that's not ridiculous. They are not the worst team in the league.
How many years in a row have you done this almanac now, or some version of an NFL betting, NFL preview guide?
This is the 22nd book. We started with Pro Football Prospectus 2005. That was our first book.
Wow. And are you at the point, and I don't know if you were like this, but I'm just curious, you're not writing all of it. You have others, as I just mentioned, doing certain teams' capsules. Do you ever read anybody else's work and then chime in on it? Or do you just hands off on it? You're like, no, it's your thing.
No, I mean, since all the projections come from me, I'm sort of guiding every chapter and sort of how good the teams are going to be. But I do try to let people keep their own voices. I mean, for example, our Saints projections are much lower than conventional wisdom. But I think you'll see that the Saints chapter is more optimistic than the numbers are. And I sort of like let it be that way because that's how the author felt. But you do hear my voice chiming in. You know, every chapter has the voice of the author, but a little bit of my voice in it as well.
Makes sense. Give me something else in the almanac this year that you were particularly proud of, or you found particularly noteworthy. Maybe it's just your sort of prediction being well off market on another team, or maybe it's just a particular deep dive that you really took pride in.
I think people will be surprised by how much we like the Lions. Because, again, that is one of the best teams ever by DVOA to finish in last place, like to miss the playoffs. They were a pretty good team last year, despite going 9-8, and obviously very injured. And the idea is that they will probably be healthier this year. So we like the Lions a lot. I think something where you'll see us go against our own numbers is the Vikings. Our numbers have the Vikings defense regressing to average, and I think we sort of make the point in the chapter that Brian Flores is probably too good of a defensive coordinator to let that happen. Like, the projection system doesn't know that Brian Flores is a great defensive coordinator, but he is. So we don't think their defense is going back to average and their offense should be better. That should be the best division again. The NFC North is the best division in the game. As good as the NFC West is, it does have the Cardinals at the bottom, whereas the NFC North has 4 good teams.
Cardinals the worst team in the NFL per your projections, or no?
No, the Cardinals aren't even close to the worst team in the NFL. They have the hardest way to win a division because their division is so good. The Browns are the worst team in the NFL.
Ooh, I like
there you
that.
go, Kelley.
Like hearing that for that Browns under. Didn't understand that number at all. I think it's Aaron. Who else do you have at the bottom? Because I think a lot of people, or maybe not a lot of people, but I would look at it similarly. Where the Cardinals roster isn't terrible. It's just you're stuck in the NFC West.
Yeah, the Jets are near the bottom. Although we like their defense to be average because of all the free agents they picked up. The Saints, which will surprise people, I know that their defense improved in the second half of last year, and people think Tyler Shuck has promise, but we have them low. We have the Falcons low, we have Miami low, and we have Tennessee low, although you can certainly tell the story where Tennessee plays much better because they have the young number 1 quarterback and they have the coaching change. And it's certainly possible that it's a lot more possible that we're wrong about Tennessee than that we're wrong about Miami.
Mm. It's so well done. Aaron, can't thank you enough. You've probably, you and I have probably talked before most of all these last 2 decades, right before these came out. So I appreciate you always coming on. Tell everybody again the easiest way to get it.
Yeah, ftnfantasy.com/almanac or Amazon, search for FTN Football Almanac 2026, and check out everything we have at FTN, all kinds of good projections, betting advice, all kinds of good stuff there on a number of sports.
Fantasy heavy as well. Aaron, thank you so much. Aaron Schatz, everybody, right here on A Numbers Game. Coming back.
A Numbers Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Hey, don't forget about our NFL betting guide at VSiN. Our pro guide includes 3 burning questions for all 32 teams. The early best bets on props and futures predictions for 2026 playoff teams. 23 experts chiming in on division winners, conference winners, Super Bowl winners. Get it now. VSiN.com/subscribe. $175 for full VSiN Pro access through the Super Bowl. Once again, $175 full VSiN Pro access through the Super Bowl. Get it now. VSiN.com/subscribe. Kelley, you add any best bets for a 2.0 version?
Ooh,
no?
NFL. Did I add any bets since you've been gone?
The betting guy.
No added bets for me, but yes, there are, two in there, 2 in the betting guide from me, and then the Panthers under 7.5, I believe I added afterward. I added a baseball future last week.
Did you?
Yeah, you're going to be intrigued by this one. Joe Sheehan helped talk me into this because as you would expect, there was a lot of Red Sox love last week, right? You're out of town. Red Sox keep winning games. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody's coming up with their own Red Sox futures. How about Chad Tracy for Manager of the Year? Thought it was a good call by Joe Sheehan. I bet on that 28-1.
Yeah. Manager of the Year, we as much as we talk about NFL Coach of the Year and NBA Coach of the Year, we never talk about Manager of the Year.
Here will be a fun game when Gill, in 3 weeks from now, just asks me flat out, hey, Kelley, who's the manager of the Boston Red Sox? And I'll be like, I don't know. And I bet on him. Chad Tracy.
Brad Magnus on Twitter. I think I had tickets on everyone yesterday except Ryan Fox. Did we not get a Greg Peterson love update today? I don't want to go to the love update every time he's on. Well, we'll get an update next time. Bullet Godfrey. Okay, when did we Americans start calling it football? Here in the US of A, it's called soccer. It was also beyond annoying to hear the American announcers call it a pitch. Last time I checked, we Americans call it a field. Glad it's over. Wow. Okay.
You know what? What was driving me a little nuts with this yesterday? Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, just with the little intro thing, and it was Mr. International Tom Cruise. Let me lean into every pronunciation correctly. We get it, Tom Cruise. You've been a man who travels a lot. You've seen a lot of the world. Good for you, buddy. Halftime show was awesome, though, by the way. Hey, was I the only one who thought that? I thought the halftime show was great. Look at Gill's face. Look at Gill's face. It's awesome.
You wanted to see a aging Madonna?
I thought,
out there?
It was, I knew we were getting that, Gill, so I thought it was a lot better than what I was expecting.
Yeah. Give me more Shakira.
I thought
Scrabble
Shakira
star.
was fantastic.
Gil, glad you're back. Respect your tennis acumen, and to me, it's a positive when we land on the same side. Oh, thank you. Droge got home. I still need Shevchenko. Oh, I'm not involved in that one. By the way, I always go to the Aretha Franklin R&B hit since you've been gone when hearing the title, I Am Old. Okay. Jason Stark, drink every time Aaron Schatz says the Ravens are great. It did happen once.
One drink.
I believe.
Yeah, if you're behind.
Yeah, one drink. And Steve the Proxy, last week was Dustin Sweetelson was great with Kelley last week for a numbers game. Let's give Dustin another shout. He's awesome. He says, but minus 2,000 that Gill does not go to Texas Roadhouse with Greg. Not exactly Carbone. Welcome back, Gill. You are going to lose that bet. I am going to Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, I misread that tweet, Gill. I thought he had said he's not going to go with Texas Roadhouse twice. That's what I was thinking when you say, we'll bring the crew the second time. I was like, there's no way Gill's going a second time.
Yeah, the crew immediately wants in on Texas Roadhouse.
I think we got to do this all at once.
And then finally, Mark Gupta. Hey, Gill, welcome back. With the Bears info that Schatz just gave out, is that an auto overplay on their games? Sure sounds like it. If the books don't adjust quick enough, that's for sure. Wes Reynolds joins us now, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line, part of the glue that holds this whole operation together off of the Open Championship. Wes, I'm going to assume, you know what they say about assuming, I'm going to assume you didn't have Ryan Fox. Who did you have circling the top of the leaderboard yesterday?
I did not have Ryan Fox. On the halftime show, I do want to say, before we get into relive the Open Championship yesterday, doing the slow song at the halftime show, Justin Bieber, no go.
Totally
dude.
agree.
You know what your money song is. Do the If You Don't Like to Love Yourself, or whatever the hell his money song is. Like, do that song, or do Baby, or do one of your hits,
Peaches,
man.
something.
Like,
Peaches.
Yes, do Peaches.
Yeah.
Do not do the slow song. But for the Open Championship yesterday, I did not have Ryan Fox, despite the fact that he has Lynx pedigree. And like, you feel stupid afterwards, even though you never were going to consider him because the form wasn't really that great. But former Dunhill Lynx winner, and I thought a deserved champion. When you birdie 4 of the last 6 and making that birdie on 18, and the fact that he just goes for it, man. He doesn't think about it. Like, you saw all these rounds were so long. I know Colin Montgomery did a little riff on that made the rounds on social media. Like, these rounds taking 5 hours and 40 minutes long are ridiculous at a major championship, even in a 3-ball. And Ryan Fox, man, he just goes up there and hits it. He doesn't worry about it. He doesn't think about it too much. Like, if he gets a bad break, he doesn't vent about it. Like, when he got in the bunker late on the back 9 yesterday, he just took his medicine. He just took his medicine and pitched back out. And, but I think if you had Sam Burns or Scotty Scheffler tickets based on how well he struck the ball and just couldn't make a putt, and Cameron Young making that bogey at 18 kind of cost him. It ended up costing him, even though he held the lead for 2.5 hours. When you try to, we talked about it on Long Shots last week too. When you try to reach the green out of some of those fairway bunkers, it's impossible. It is impossible to reach those greens out of fairway bunkers. And he tried to do it and ended up doing more damage, which probably cost him the claret jug.
One, totally agree with you about Justin Bieber. First of all, I don't know who decided we need massive music displays at halftime of a World Cup game or at an NFL game, right? I don't know who decided this was okay, but especially don't do a slow song. So I get that. I'm with you on that. Secondly, we have to revisit the Scotty Scheffler thing because we've talked about this in some form or another over the last couple months. It has now been 6 full months since he has won a golf tournament. And I know he's been to playoffs, and I know he's been in contention for so many of them, and the dude is making tons of money all along. But for bettors who think to bet him pre-flop, some do, some don't. Some say, oh, the price is too short, I'm not going to do it. But for more bettors, I would imagine, who then get in on him during a golf tournament, have we reached the point after 6 months where people finally have to guard against that instinct? Can we say that?
Yeah, I think you might have to. And you even saw it with the reaction on 17, where it's like, okay, I got to go for eagle here. I'm at 7 under, and how he hit that shot. You usually don't think of Scotty Scheffler like having a fit, and he did. And, caught a good break, by the way, from the ruling and getting relief over there. But it just absolutely pulled his drive and, was having a fit. And you're seeing him kind of getting a little bit cantankerous, I guess, shall we say. Maybe that's too strong of a word, with his caddy, Ted Scott, and they're disagreeing openly. And, it's clearly getting to him. I think right now that he is not at the torrid pace of winning that he was in previous years. So, that's why he's playing the 3M Open this week, a tournament he would not ordinarily play in Minneapolis, because it's like, I got to get a win somewhere. And this is a downfield, and there's a reason why he's like plus 250 in the market. He is the clear favorite. So probably if you're betting that this week, even though I just said, hey, we got to guard against it in bigger tournaments, this tournament, with the field drop-off quality as it is, you probably got to look at the without market this week.
Yep. Just because we're on the – I'm sorry, Kelley, go ahead. You want to say something?
No, I think it's a great call. I mean, just these 3M Open odds were late to open up. I know not many books even had them up last night. Scotty Scheffler plus 270, Kurt Kitayama 19-1, Maverick McNeely 21-1, Hideki 25, Keith Mitchell 25, Jake Knapp 27. We hit Jackson Koiven at 28-1. It's a kid that we're talking about in this field, Wes. I'm with you. Winner without Scotty Scheffler market this week, or you're betting on Scotty Scheffler outright to win this golf tournament. I really, that's my quick look at the 3M Open.
I'm curious,
absolutely.
Wes.
It's birdie fest.
We just came off a year, and we don't get a chance to say this often, but it's the 4th major. We just came off of it. So as we look back, yes, Rory won the Masters, but then after that, it was Aaron Rai, Wyndham Clark, and Ryan Fox. This time next year, as we look back at the 4 majors in 2027, give me a name that you think will have won a major that isn't one of the usual suspects. It doesn't have to be as outlandish as those 3 guys, but someone who you think breaks through.
Yeah. And by the way, 3 of those guys were triple-digit shots, Rye, Clark, and of course, Fox yesterday. I do think Sam Burns is going to win a major. And I don't want it to be, he's probably near the top of the class of best players to not win a major. It certainly is now, being that he was runner up at the US Open when I had him. And then yesterday runner up when Kelley and Matt Brown had him. So, he's getting there. And I think his attitude, he showed a lot of class at the end. I think he feels like, hey, I'm close. I don't think he's going to let this devastate him and then just, kind of fade into oblivion. So I think Sam Burns finally pops through next year.
All right, long shots with Wes, Kelley, and Matt Brown out tomorrow afternoon. Yes,
sir.
Tomorrow afternoon?
Yes, sir.
Okay, wherever you get your podcast. Thank you, Wes. Appreciate it. Wes
bet, guys.
Reynolds won, the number one for Wes on Twitter. Coming back on a numbers game.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
20 leagues, one mission. Just WinBet's Baby is your premier source for daily sports betting picks. They break down the data so you can bet with confidence across the entire sports calendar. Scan the QR code or visit justwinbetsbaby.com today and start betting smarter with Just WinBet's Baby. The name says it all. Gill Alexander in San Francisco, Kelley Bydlon in Vegas. It is a numbers game right here at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Kelley, we talked a lot about golf. I want to clean up some other stuff that we haven't sort of gotten deep into enough. One is Summer League, which we'll get to momentarily, because I think you had a future that was on the line last night. Yeah. But real quick about it's like, that didn't go.
Fun Sunday. Fun Sunday of almost.
All right, well, maybe we should start there. You had the Memphis Grizzlies, and the Warriors come from 12 back in the fourth quarter to beat them and beat your future?
Yeah,
is that what happened?
Then there's the, we're going to, if you're betting on Summer League, you can't get angry about things like this, so I won't get angry, Gil, but it was a little annoying when you're like, hey, there's Cameron Boozer. There's still the team, like the one team running out their superstar for some reason for like the 7th Summer League game, right? And he's got open look after open look down the stretch, and it's just brick, missed layup, and you're like, oh man, this is like, I just need one of these, man. I just need one of these. That's what it felt like for the final minute of that game. So pretty brutal. Shout out to Lindenborg and the Warriors over there. He was looking good, and heck, they looked good, man. Winning the Summer League, like you said, with that Grizzlies team that was rolling out a much superior roster at that point in the Summer League. So good game by the Warriors. You know me, it was a little bit similar situation of Burns on Saturday night. I did buy off a piece because I was like, oh, the Warriors are catching 5 points. Let's get a sweet middle here. You know me, Middle and Bydlon was always looking for that middle shot. So whatever, made a little money on Summer League, but nothing crazy.
Warriors beat the Grizzlies 94-90 to win Summer League. Congratulations to anybody who had the Warriors. By the way, the Rookie of the Year odds, Darren Peterson and Cam Boozer are the short shots at 3-1. AJ DeBonsa, the Wizards, 4-1. Caleb Wilson plus 420. Darius Acuff Jr. 10-1, and the aforementioned Lindenborg is now 15-1. Those were some of the consensus takeaways, though, from Summer League. And again, read into Summer League what you will. There's a lot of things that you can project, and there's a lot of things you can't. One, 3-point percentage is not something that projects into the upcoming season, but the rate at which you shoot threes is. So like people were saying, oh, Caleb Wilson wasn't the best player in Summer League, but it was interesting that he shot so many threes. Couldn't make a free throw to save his life, by the way. Darius Acuff, all of the concerns were realized, like he plays no defense. None.
It's great.
That was a big.
He's going to be like my favorite player eventually, Gil. It's just like, sorry, like you're like Allen Iverson written all over him, right? Like he's got B-level Allen Iverson written all over. I can't wait for it.
And again, context is just Summer League, but it's something. AJ DeBonsa was the best player, dude. He was the best. The number one pick in the draft. Got to whatever shot he wanted to. Had the most highlight reel plays. But it was interesting again, like Lindenborg, just wasn't the most spectacular, but in the end was the winner, much like in college basketball, right? It reflected that. I mentioned the thing about Wilson with the free throws. What was that? Was he 3 of 13? Did I read that right? Acuff, no defense. Oh, and apparently like the player who is just not ready for prime time, Adai Mara, just not up to the level was the consensus of the Oklahoma City Thunder from Michigan.
Yeah, I don't think, you know what? I think the Thunder, as even moves yesterday, would let us know. The Thunder are very much have been playing this long game for years now, right? They think they got the best of it roster-wise. They just want to make sure that they're going to be set down the road. So, yeah, Maya, I don't know how much of that was I don't know how much of him making an impact right now was even the plan when they drafted him, right, Gil? They've just always had all these draft assets, and if you can let that guy bring in a big like that and let him, build and work over the next couple years, if he's something in 2 or 3 years, Thunder don't care.
Hey, this is another thing that went on when I was gone. The never-ending saga of where will LeBron James play next? Good God, man. Like, this changes, it seems like every 2 days.
Yeah.
It had gone back to the Warriors as like the short shot. It's going to be the Warriors after all. Now we look at Kalshi. The Miami Heat are the short shot at plus 185. Cleveland, another reunion, plus 267. Plus 207 on the 287. Pardon me, on the yes. And then it's the Warriors at plus 528, followed by the Sixers. Do you have any idea where he ends up? What's your hunch?
Absolutely not, Gil. And I think it's getting it's awesome that we have these markets up all the time in the prediction markets. I just feel like I've been cautioning the entire time, and I will continue to caution. I feel like every day I see a tweet from a respected NBA reporter that's like, this decision's coming in the next 2 days. And it's like, okay, well, then 3 days later, there's another tweet from someone, hey, this is not coming in the next couple days. And we just see these odds continuing to shift and move. So unless you feel like you really, really know, it is not something I would be getting involved in betting right now. It's like, gun to my head, where do I think he's going to end up? Probably Cleveland, but it's not something I'm going to bet on right now. I absolutely think a lot of these other teams are live and probably interesting to LeBron.
Let me go back to the World Cup for a second as well, because we probably didn't talk enough about that. And I want to give file this under, hey, betting tip for the next, for 2 years from now, for 4 years from now when the World Cup returns. But again, congratulations. Anybody had Spain winning the World Cup. And as I said earlier, while everybody was thinking France was going to win this, maybe we all missed the point about Spain. Again, 38 games in a row without losing, gave up 1 goal the entire tournament. They were every bit the best team. They deserved it. They certainly deserved it in that performance against Argentina. Completely dominant. By the way, maybe later you can read the text from Matt Brown, but edit it in terms of how he, like what's the equivalent of that kind of domination in our sports, where then you end up winning 1-0, right? And you barely get there before you end up in this ridiculous PK's decision maker.
Yeah, I mean, I could edit it on the fly now, Gil, because it's basically it goes back to so much of what you brought up and we brought up throughout the World Cup of just being. Every time we watch these high-level soccer games and tournaments, you're just blown away by how much 1 goal matters, right? 1 goal matters so much. And that's something you said at the beginning of the tournament over and over and over again. And it's 0-0. We're 5 minutes away from this going to penalty kicks, and they 0 shots on goal. Like, the equivalent of this in a football game is a 40-0 blowout, right? This is like, it was a Spain blowout, and it's minutes away from, he says, a coin flip, and a coin flip, penalty kicks. This is how we're going to decide things in the World Cup. And it was not the best game of the World Cup from my standpoint at all because of that. I thought Spain absolutely dominated.
Not the best game, but again, I'll say what I have been saying throughout the tournament, which is the draw strategy is the best strategy to me in international tournaments like the World Cup, like the Euro Cup. Betting the draw and the bang for your buck that you get on the draws, particularly in the group stage, it was just phenomenal. But it continued all the way to the final. Here's the other one, and let's shout out Chris Felica. The Golden Boot ends up going to Kylian Mbappe with 10 goals. Now he ends up getting the difference maker in the 3rd place game, Kelly, where he gets 2 goals in that amazing England 6-4 win over France on Saturday. Now, the 3rd place game is just sort of this throwaway thing, and it was just like a fun exhibition. It was awesome to watch. If soccer were like that, I'd probably watch it every day, right, if you don't play any defense. But from our betting standpoint, I thought Felica made a great bet, which was when you ended up realizing France was in the 3rd place game, even if you didn't have a Golden Boot bet, or if you did on someone else, just hit Mbappe right there, because this is it really, I mean, in World Cup history, there have been a total of 21 third place games, Kelley. 21 third place games. It is now 8 eventual Golden Boot winners who have played and scored in the third place game. So wow. 8 out of 21, the eventual Golden Boot winner scores in the third place game. So again, if you can predict pre-flop who's going to end up in the third place game, good on you. But if you can't, like most mortals can't, but then once you know that Mbappe tied with Messi at 8 is playing in the third place game, it was kind of, you know, the old Washington Nationals obligation bet to bet him. By the way, of those 8 out of 21 that scored in the third place game, 5 of those, including Mbappe the other day, their goal in the bronze medal match was in fact the deciding factor that secured them the tournament's top scorer award. So just a shout out to Felica, who immediately pounced on that and recognized, hey, this is just the fact that they count this game is such a Golden Boot hack. Yeah. And historically it actually plays out. So congratulations to anybody who was smart enough to jump in and do that. Mbappe is your Golden Boot winner. Yeah, 100%. And shout out to all the soccer guests. Did this on Friday, right? But we had Chris Felica, Paul Carr, Dallin Cuff, Drew Dinzik every single week, multiple times a week. Everybody was awesome, crushed it, did a great job betting it, and thanks to them for coming on and spending their time. And Drew, with his miraculous Argentina to the final bet, gets home in the most dramatic fashion of them all. Coming back, baseball and more on A Numbers Game at VSiN.